They tried to hold her, but it was too cold. And so this person who held her lost the grip, and she sank immediately and was gone. And he froze to death after a few minutes in the boat because it was full of water and freezing. Now, if you look, we have this enlargement of the picture. She's sitting here, and if you look at her hand here, she has a double wedding ring. It was a welded ring, actually of 2 rings. And we don't know what happened, but it might have been so that because of this horrible cold, her fingers had frozen so much that they had thinned. So possibly the ring dropped into the boat where she lost
like
it. And 12 people survived from the boat, and the boat drifted away in the darkness and disappeared on the ocean. And it was found almost 1 month later. It was discovered. And so they recovered the boat and brought it to New York. And when excavating the boat, they found in the bottom a ring, and it was a great mystery. To whom did this ring belong? They had no clue. But at the White Star office in New York, they saw there were engravings and realized this could have been a Swedish passenger. They weren't sure. So they sent the ring with a letter to the Swedish consul. And they were as puzzled in New York there as the White Star Line. So the ring was then sent back to Stockholm, and the Foreign Ministry had notes put out in papers to ask if anybody could claim the ring. And her brother was a conductor of Swedish railroads, and he was going between Malmö in the south and Gothenburg on the west coast. And one day in Gothenburg, he bought the daily paper there and saw, just by coincidence, he saw a note about a ring, and when he read it, he said, "Oh my God, it's my sister's ring." Wow. So he brought the newspaper back to his parents, and they were grief-struck, of course, because it was their beloved daughter and she was lost in the ocean. So sometime in the summer of 1912, the ring was returned to the parents, and then it was gone. And I had been in the archive in Stockholm, and I followed the ring because every note, every receipt, everything's there, but no ring. And I thought it was a mystery because I said to myself, for a couple of years, I said that you don't throw away a ring from the Titanic. You simply don't do it. So I was certain that somewhere there was a ring from the Titanic, but it was gone. Then in 1991 we had a very big, this large exhibition with the artifacts, and it was an enormous success in Stockholm. So we started touring it. It went to Malmö in the south. And our curator, when you build exhibition, you're always late. And they worked and worked and worked. But one night he took off and took his little daughter to a birthday party for children in a nearby town. But he was too exhausted to walk around. He was just sitting in a chair when a friend came by and looked at him and said, "Oh, gee, you look awful. What's awful?" And he said, "Well, we have a new exhibition now, and we work day and night." And she said, "Oh, that's interesting. What's this time?" "Well, this time is the Titanic," he said. And then she said, "You know, I've had relatives on the Titanic." And they started chatting, of course, about this. And he called me the next day, and I'll never forget it, because he was, as we say in Swedish, fire and flaming. He talked and talked and talked. And I said, wait. I've never heard stories like this before, have I? And then he said, "Well, she said something about the ring as well. Don't you know anything about this?" And then things became a bit peculiar. But because of the stress with the whole exhibition and everything that was going to be done, so on, so on, so on, I forgot the telephone call then. I forgot about it. So we opened the exhibition, and I remember I had a tour after a couple of days. When the tour was over, this woman came up to me and said, "Hello, I'm Gunilla." And I said, "Hello, where's the ring?" And I asked her, apologized, but she said, "Don't worry." And she said, "Oh, there's nothing with this peculiar mystery ring, because the ring, you see, my mother has it on her finger, and she's had it for years." And it turned out that her dear little mother had, when she grew older, had become a bit bulkier. And so her ordinary wedding ring didn't fit. And she asked her husband if it was okay that they put the wedding ring in a bank safe. Instead, she could use Aunt Gerda's ring. So a few days later, I sat in a tiny little flat in Malmö and held this ring from the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's wow. Yeah, I still get this.